Question number 10, the Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. Does he agree with the Prime Minister that, quotes, first home buyers are a priority for the government? If so, why are houses more unaffordable for young New Zealanders now than 6 months ago?
Honourable Bill English.
Yes, I agree with the Prime Minister's statement. That's why the government announced some changes to KiwiSaver first home buyer subsidy and welcome home loans to ensure that within the restrictions imposed by the Reserve Bank, first home buyers can get their foot in the door. Secondly, we are working hard to ensure that there will be more houses built more quickly so that pressure will come off the housing market and first home buyers, like any other New Zealander who wants to buy a house, will be dealing with a more affordable market, and we look forward to the opposition supporting the government's legislation on that.
Supplementary question, Honourable David Parker.
Why, after he said restrictions on high loan-to-valuation lending would avoid interest rate rises, have two major banks, ANZ and BNZ, already increased fixed interest rates for most home buyers, while the ASB has begun offering a lower discriminatory rate for borrowers with deposits larger than 20%?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, you need to ask the banks about their interest rate policies. The government has simply repeated the argument that has been made by the Governor of the Reserve Bank that these restrictions may enable some delay until he raises interest rates.
Supplementary question, the Honourable David Parker.
Is he aware that the ANZ is now saying, quotes, one outcome of LVR changes will be the more rigorous application of low equity premiums, end quote. In other words, interest rate increases for first home buyers with deposits under 20%. And if so, who's correct, the ANZ or the Minister's earlier comments?
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, I don't think there was anything unpredictable about the fact that banks are adopting policies that are more discriminating about which interest rates they charge to which customers. That was part of the consultation the Reserve Bank went through with its LVRs. And we will get to see whether the LVR restrictions have some impact on the market or not. The government, though, is focusing on its policy, which is to improve the flexible supply of housing, particularly in Auckland and Christchurch. With respect to Auckland, there is an accord between the government and the Auckland City Council. There is legislation coming through the House, which I hope the opposition will support. Auckland's plan should become operative in the next few months, and that will provide the opportunity for a more significant expansion of supply of houses in Auckland.
Supplementary question, Honourable David Parker.
When he said that the steps his government are taking are good for first home buyers, did he realise that those steps would lead to almost 80% of first home buyers with deposits under 20% now seeing their home ownership dreams being crushed?
Honourable Bill English.
No, Mr Speaker. I disagree with that. Again, the opposition are aiming to undermine, if not remove, the independence of the Reserve Bank. The Reserve Bank has powers under the Reserve Bank Act. They have exercised those powers with respect to the restrictions on high LVR loans, which the opposition used to be in favour of. In fact, they said we were old-fashioned because it wasn't happening. Now it is. Of course, the government is focusing on increasing the supply of homes to the market. We're still dealing with the legacy of a booming housing market under the previous government where they did nothing about supply.
Supplementary question, Honourable David Parker.
Why is his government so determined to protect the advantages of property investors and speculators over everyday New Zealanders who are being left unable to buy even one home?
Honourable Bill English.
I completely disagree with that statement. The government has, over 2 or 3 years, brought together a range of policies which will increase the supply of houses to the market. That will, I'm sure, upset the plans of speculators and investors who are relying on restricted supply and fast rising prices. And over the next 6 to 12 months, we'll get to see what difference that will make. But certainly an increase in the supply of housing will make a bigger difference than the Reserve Bank restrictions on low deposit loans.
Question number 11, Claudette Hoiti.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker.
Tēnā koe.
My question is